Alright guys, so today we are going to look at photosynthesis and respiration. So we're going to look at how cells get the chemicals they need for energy, what they do with it, and how that energy is stored chemically in the first place, and that's photosynthesis. So by the end of today, what you should be able to do is know the word equations for respiration and photosynthesis, and if you want to push yourself, go for the chemical equations. You also want to be able to understand what the chemicals that they need for photosynthesis and respiration cells, and where they come from and where they end up. To be honest, all right. So photosynthesis and respiration. Here we have two chemical equations. We have carbon dioxide plus, and I'll scribble that on there, and we'll get my pen. So we'll go plus water goes to sugar plus oxygen. And it happens inside the chlorophyll using sunlight for energy. And that's the energy which we're actually storing with photosynthesis. Okay, so this is how sugar is made. Carbon dioxide plus water gives you sugar plus oxygen. And that is also where the majority of our oxygen comes that we breathe. However, what you'll notice is if you add sugar and oxygen, what you end up with is carbon dioxide plus water plus, this isn't written on there, energy. This is where all of the energy in your cells comes from. So it's sugar plus oxygen. This is why we breathe in. This is why we breathe in air. Plus oxygen gives you carbon dioxide. This is the air that you breathe out. So that is when you breathe out carbon dioxide, this is what you're breathing out. You're breathing out the products of this chemical reaction here. So carbon dioxide and water. All right. So photosynthesis and respiration are inverse chemical equations or chemical reactions. In other words, they are the opposites of each other. So you spin them around and you're all good. Photosynthesis is a hard word to say, and it is also the storage of solar energy in the bonds of glucose, which is sugar. So we talk about sugar, what we mean is glucose, and we actually mean this chemical right here, this ring-shaped chemical with an extra carbon and some oxygen and some hydrogens off the side there. Respiration is releasing of that energy. So when photosynthesis happens, the energy that holds that and that together, and that and all that sort of stuff, that comes from sunlight. But when we use that sugar, so it releases the energy, so those bonds are broken, and it releases the energy, and that's what we used for. It's what we use for our cells to work. So it's the energy for life. So essentially, we all run on solar power. So here we have photosynthesis stores energy in those bonds. Respiration breaks it and releases them. So what do we need for photosynthesis? Essentially, we need water, which is a tree or a plant gets that from its roots. So you water, this is why you don't water the leaves of a plant, you water the ground of the plant, and the roots absorb the water through there. Carbon dioxide enters through the stomata of the leaves, so it takes carbon dioxide out of the air, so the water and the carbon dioxide meet in the middle. Now, plants also use oxygen for respiration, which is this one here. And if they draw the oxygen in through their roots, so if you water a plant too heavily, it's not able to get oxygen in through the water because it becomes saturated, and that's another way to kill plants. So the water, sunlight, and the carbon dioxide get trapped inside the chlorophyll of a plant, of a leaf, and this is where the chemical reaction happens. And as a result, it gives off oxygen, which leaves through the stomata, and sugar, which is stored as starch. So it's either used by those cells as sugar, or it's stored as starch, which can then be broken down into sugar again. Now, this sort of shows the interrelated nature of it all. So plants, when they eat food, they eat the sugar, they break down the sugar because of respiration. So sugar plus oxygen gives carbon dioxide, so they release that carbon dioxide into the air. The plants breathe in that carbon dioxide and release oxygen, as well as storing making sugar, which the animals, including us, we breathe the oxygen in and use the sugar to then release more carbon dioxide. And you see that everything's interdependent. We rely on one another. But yeah, that was it. Nice and simple, and I'll see you in class.